Hello, thanks for joining me for another review. Right, today we are going to Dois Corvos, and this is their barrel aged Power of 3. It's a Belgian Tripel aged in port and whiskey barrels, and the dogs do not stop. So there's the beer. It's coming in at 10.1% ABV. They're out of Lisbon, this brewery. It's 35 IBUs, I believe. 330ml bottle, and there's the bottle cap. Let's crack it open then. Bit of a spoiler, I have actually had this already since I've been here. I shared a bottle with my good friend Joao. So there's a few more kind of these bigger, stronger beers out here at the moment. So yeah, let's give it a try. This is at room temperature. It's unlike one of the beers I've had recently that was at room temperature. The carbonation seems pretty good on this. So the light's not that great, as you can see, but you definitely getting that kind of slightly whiskey kind of type colour to the beer. It's kind of it's very difficult. I mean, I'm looking into the light. It's like a dark kind of amber sort of colour. Slightly hazy, but yeah, not as much carbonation as I thought it would be. I will pour the rest of this in just to see if it changes. Yeah, a little bit more hazy, but a little bit more carbonation. Difficult light, but hey ho. So yeah, let's get an aroma then. I'm getting a nice kind of warm brown bread. I'm getting them oak tannins. I assume it's oak. This was aged for 7 months in port and whiskey barrels. Just having a little look here. So yeah, warm brown bread, not overly over the top with the whiskey, which is nice. Some darker fruits. Not getting very much of that kind of Belgian influence on the nose. But yeah, let's give it a try. Cheers. Wow, very smooth, not picking up the ABV at all, even at room temperature. It's quite a warmish type beer and no alcohol at all. 10.1. Oh. Oh, that's very pleasant. I'm getting like there's a slight sweetness coming through. I don't know if it's vanilla. There's a fruit. There is a fruit there. Let me have another sip. There's a slight nutty edge. I don't know if it's maybe kind of like monkey nuts or almonds or walnuts, that sort of thing. Slightly, there's a slight roastiness to it. There is a slight kind of fig edge, maybe, yeah, fig, plum, dates, that kind of thing. But it's not overpowering. There's not one thing kind of overstepping the mark over the other sort of thing. It's a really kind of well blended beer, it feels. I am getting some kind of maybe that plum kind of port wine sort of esters coming through, but it's not, I say, it's not over the top with that. It's not over the top with the whiskey, which is really pleasant. Some of these barrel aged beers can be really overpowering. I've had a few since I've been out here, and it kind of goes beyond the beer, if that makes sense. What the beer is supposed to be, even if it's first run, you know, in the bourbon barrels or the whiskey or the port barrels, it kind of, some I've found out that I've gone over the mark, and you can't pick up anything else that you want it to be. The actual style of beer itself, whether it's beer, a triple, or an imperial stout, that sort of thing. I've had one or two on draft, and it's just they've been over the top in the barrels that they've been in, if that makes sense. It's just, you may as well kind of drink straight up port or straight up bourbon sort of thing. So, but this one's very pleasant. There is kind of, like I've already said, like a biscuity, bready. There's a slight sweetness like honey, toasty. But it's nothing, as I've said, all kind of blends well together. Really nice beer. There's almost like an orange kind of marmalade-y kind of feel to the beer as well. It's really complex, really enjoyable beer. I'm just gonna have a little look just to see if there's it's not a collaboration, I wasn't sure. I got this at Valhalla craft beer dealers, so if you're ever in Funchal in Madeira and you're after some craft beer, I'll put the links down below so you can contact them and pick yourself up some really good beers. So they've always, all Portuguese craft beers that they're exclusively import from the mainland out here to Madeira. Let's see what the commercial description says. So it says the Power of Three is a 10.1 triple that was matured for 7 months in port and whiskey barrels. It presents a sweet honey and biscuity malt base, which is pretty obvious of what I'm getting, complemented with peach, almond and apricot flavours from the barrel aging. It was hopped with German and Czech hops that gave a very subtle floral balance to this beer. Pretty much what I was picking up. I wasn't picking up much of the apricot. Maybe I was if I actually looked for it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I suppose so. That first initial taste just then, I was picking up whiskey esters, quite strong, and it just fizzles out. So it's not one of them whiskey beers we think, oh, whiskey, barrel aged whiskey. I've had one or two in the past where it's like real hardcore whiskey, and I don't actually like whiskey, but I'm enjoying this. So if you don't like whiskey, don't be put off by it being barrel aging whiskey barrels, because it's not one of them beers that it's just all about that. In terms of the actual beer and the style, it's fabulous. It really is. I'll give it one more sip and I'll give it a rating. It's nice the actual dogs have calmed down in this local area. They seem to be barking everywhere else within about sort of half a mile, which is nice for a change. So for me, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. It's definitely a 4.5 out of 5 on the Untapped scale. Really enjoyable beer. The ABV is masked superbly well at 10.1. Craziness. And yeah, glad I picked this one up. And it's got some fantastic artwork. I'll just show you this. The light is, as you can see, half and half, so he looks moody. So these are limited releases, of course. It's worth just showing you the artwork, I think. It's almost like a nice Christmassy sort of feel. I don't know if that's supposed to be a map at the top or whatever, but yeah, he doesn't look I don't know if he's like the third eye there, which is the Illuminati, I think, that sort of jazz. Does it say anything in English there? I can't even see. Port Whisky beer. Every single one is good. They're going to say that, aren't they? But together they reach a different level. This beer was aged for several months, as we know it's 7 months, in port and whisky barrels, which give it a unique hallmark. Dois Corvos out of Lisbon. I've had a few beers from these this brewery before, so check out my playlist down below of my my general Portuguese beer and craft beer playlist. I'll put it all together. But yeah, so that is the barrel aged Power of 3, a Belgian triple aged in port and whiskey barrels. 9 out of 10 from me. Check it out. So if you've had it before, let me know, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next review. Cheers.